A new theater production starting October 18th at Hibernian Hall in Roxbury is called With Glittering Eyes, a story about a solid family with a devastating secret. To tell us about the production are the Hall's playwright in residence, Tricia Elam Walker, and the Hall's artistic director for the Madison Park Development Corporation, Farai Williams. Thank you both very much for being with us.
Yes,
thank you.
Thank you.
I want to start with Farai. Talk about the overall vision that this play fits into for Hibernian Hall.
Well, since I'm roughly about 120 days in as a new artistic director, and for me, the vision is, Hibernian Hall has been lovingly held as a space, right? Mm-hmm. So space, empty space, people come, they rent it, and we're happy for that. But I'm shifting them from the idea of space to place. Place has identity. Place is that people in the community know what's happening there. And then for some, from place to home base, which brings us right to Tricia. Our home base for our playwright, artist in residence, is doing With Glittering Eyes. This year, for the last year and a half, we've been working with Tricia. She's had an opportunity to do it in a playwright form. We also last year produced, earlier this year, 4 one-acts, yes. Bold moves, that went very, very well. She's had an opportunity to work with dramaturgs, actors, and notable directors. This year she's working with Dawn Meredith Simmons, who is, some may know, the new executive director with Stage Source, but she is also the artistic director with Front Porch Theater, and we are very happy to have her with us. Absolutely. And Tricia for this almost 2 years. Yes. So this is the culminating, if you will, full production that we have been able to support Tricia getting feet under. And it's really important for us to be able to support artists from our community, artists that lift up stories that resonate within the community that we're situated. So it fits in perfectly.
Tricia, I want to ask you about your new play here. It's been said that all happy families are alike, but families with devastating secrets are a lot more interesting. So tell me about this family.
Well, yes. I mean, we all in our real lives want everything to be happy and lovely, but that's just not the way it is. And I think in terms of getting audiences to be interested, something needs to happen. And so this is a play about a family secret that affects many generations. And I know there's family secrets in almost every family, so that's what this play is about, and we really hope it does resonate with the community.
You know, when I heard Farai talk about the sense of place at Hibernian Hall, you know, what makes it uniquely local, does that factor in your play in any way?
Well, just the fact that I've been developing it there is really wonderful for me, and I grew up in Roxbury. I remember Hibernian Hall as sort of this big, massive building, and now to be a part of it and to see what Farai's doing with it and all the various actors and events that happen there, it's really amazing.
And Farai, what about the talent in this play? Who are we talking about?
Yeah, so again, we have people who are situated and some who are from Boston, local artists from Boston. Tricia having her roots in Roxbury, in Boston, is very important for Madison Park Development Corporation in general, but Hibernian Hall as its cultural arm, if you will, to make sure that this idea of economic revitalization and development that happens in the community is also done in the arts and to artists, and lift up stories that, again, resonate for the folks that live in the community. And really, it's bringing the, if you will, common story, everyday story perhaps, to a more theatrical level so that we can all have an opportunity to look at some things that do impact this community. So I am grateful. I had the pleasure to work in a different capacity with Tricia.
She was an actor in one of my short plays.
Yes, in one of the shorter plays.
Actor.
Yes. So it was so for me, again, when I had an opportunity to even say words as an actor in the 4 acts last year, and then be a producer and working more closely with Tricia this year, I've learned a lot, and I feel very humbled and happy to be able to make sure that that is available to the community, our community in Roxbury, as well as the greater community in Boston.
And before this play, I had no idea there were so many rich actors in Boston in terms of all the opportunities they have and how much experience they bring to this play. Because the first reading that we did with the play, it just illuminated so much for me as the writer. I mean, I understood a lot more about the play. I was able to make some changes quickly. And so that's been eye-opening.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious because you've written a novel, you've written some short plays,
Yes.
and this is the first time you've done a full-length
This is the first
play.
time I did a
How's it
full-length.
different writing full-length?
It's very different. The short plays are over in 10 minutes. This is, what, almost 2 hours?
Yeah.
And I think when I started it, I have to put a plug in for Grub Street, which is also a local organization that teaches playwriting, teaches all kinds of things, fiction, playwriting, poetry. And I took a master playwriting class there when I knew that I had this project. And it was so helpful because I got to try, a lot of it out with other writers before I even presented it to Hibernian. And so it's very different. And I think it's also been kind of difficult because I'm telling somewhat of a true story. At least it was inspired by a true story. I went to a family reunion and heard this story that was just mind-blowing for many of the people there. And so I didn't want to tell the exact story because I don't really know it, but I was very inspired by the characters and the structure of the story. And so trying to recreate that but also make it believable was a challenge.
This is BNN News, and we're talking with Farai Williams and Tricia Elam Walker. I should mention, Farai, you've got some other things happening at Hibernian Hall, some other performances, and a special event, too.
Yes, we do. So this Monday, for Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day, we have, I want to pronounce this correctly, Panazo y Bombazo, which is a musical event, cultural event. Jorge Arce will be leading a big band and dancers and everything, and we're going to have a real celebration. Encounter of the Cultures is what we're calling it, and that is happening this Monday at Hibernian Hall in between 2 and 5 p.m. Of course, with Glittering Eyes, I just have to lift up again, with Glittering Eyes opens on October the 18th. So it's for that weekend, Thursday through Sunday, and then the following weekend it will close on the 28th. So please, October 28th. But just to make a plug, we are having, this is our CEO, Jean Panado, 20th year anniversary for Madison Park Development Corporation. Wow. She's been a passionate leader. She's been someone who has gone from a staff of maybe 5 when she started to now roughly 33 people, and she's just done incredible things in the community. We just had a ribbon cutting at our community center, the DeWitt Center, yesterday afternoon, and Wednesday afternoon, which some local officials were at, and she's just done quite a bit. So November the 8th, 2018, Sparks for the Arts is our annual gala, and we are going to be honoring our CEO. So I wanted to let folks know that that is happening as well. So
busy calendar.
Busy calendar. That's my job, to make sure that there's lots of arts and culture happening, and that I let people know.
Tricia, I have to ask you one more thing. The reason for this hall being reactivated and the whole Roxbury Cultural District is to engage more people in the arts. You grew up in the city. Does that cross your mind that your play might be seen by someone who has never seen a play live before?
Oh, absolutely it does. I mean, there's always been arts, if you seek them out in Boston or Roxbury. My parents made sure we always were patrons of the arts when we were growing up, and so it has always been important to me. We had artwork in our home. But yes, I think definitely, and even when we did Bold Moves, people were telling me they had never been to a play before, but kind of word of mouth. And some people came back more than once, and I was delighted.
Yeah. It's a really incredible opportunity. I am from Boston. I grew up in the south end of Boston. I grew up in Castle Square. Last year, just to tell you what Madison is doing in Hibernian Hall, last year I received a Community Catalyst Award for all of my work. Right, the two of us did together, as a matter of fact, last year. And to have grown up in Boston, to have done programs like at the Boston Center for the Arts and now at Hibernian, to be recognized from an organization about my work as an artist in the city, and now to move into a role where I actually am artistic director. If that doesn't exemplify, what Hibernian Hall in Madison Park is doing for community members that I don't know.
It means everything
But
to
yeah,
have the play there.
it does.
It really does.
Well, the first performance of With Glittering Eyes is on October 18th. And Farai, people want some more details about when and what's happening. You've got a website, maybe?
Yes, we do. I want to make sure I give you if you go to www.madison-park.org/events /Glittering Eyes, With Glittering Eyes. You can get more information there. You can also, www.madison-park.org/events /Sparks for the Arts.
Thank you very much, Farai Williams and Tricia Elam Walker.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.